everybody, long time no see. I'm Alex from the pharmacy. Here's today's video. So let's talk about sodium cyanide. In fact, the use of sodium cyanide, if you think of it as a separate problem, ask some very professional technicians. The technician who is likely to ask is confused because this thing is a little too conventional. Or for a professional, it's just a random act. It's like an adult has to count 1-1. He doesn't have to think to tell you the answer. But if it's just a kindergartner, he'll ask why. But what? We can get through this video today. Let me show you how to use it. First, how do I add sodium cyanide to this pile? Or dip into the pool? There are two ways to do this. Let's talk about heap leaching. If you say heap leaching, after its solution is prepared, like adjusting the pH. After all these preparations are done, then we can work on it. The reagent circulates near the pump. Get a separate pool. We're going to melt the sodium cyanide in this pool beforehand. After melting, and put it through the pipe. Transport to the side of the pile leaching. Second option, an aqueous solution can be prepared after the sodium cyanide is dissolved and added to our mine. This side, when preparing an aqueous solution alone, you need to change its pH in advance. Also make an adjustment. What we usually say, its pH adjusts this piece, at least pH 9 or above. More ideal, it's probably going to be something like 10, 11 pH. Only up to this pH. Then to add sodium cyanide, it would be better to extract the effect. So what about the amount of it? First in use, if we just look at it, the equation for the reaction of sodium cyanide with gold. So the amount of sodium cyanide is actually very small. It might work out per gram of gold. Less than a gram of sodium cyanide. You can support this reaction to happen. But, generally speaking, in practice, if you talk to a technician, the words of this question, the answer they usually give is about 1 gram of gold, 20 to 30 grams of sodium cyanide. Of course, during a real heat or pool dip site, because of the nature of the mineral itself and include the use of other agents in combination, the actual amount may have to be reached 300 to 500 grams per ton of ore. So, sodium hydride is a necessary agent. Its dosage, it's actually better than the purely theoretical. It's a lot higher. Of course, this dosage, compared to the whole regimen, dosage of other agents, it's a lot lower. For the amount of it, on the one hand, the first is, inside this gold mine, are there any other impurities? The impurities will definitely affect the amount of sodium cyanide, because sodium cyanide is the cyanide ion in sodium cyanide to bring out the gold ions. Cyanide ions need to bond with gold ions. If in the process, there are ions of some other metal, it also binds easily to sodium cyanide. So you're going to have a large portion of sodium cyanide. It will be consumed, and that raises the sodium cyanide, the amount used in actual use. What else? In the gold mine, high sulfur and arsenic. It's kind of a gold mine extraction, two of the more difficult types. If yes, high sulfur, there are ways to deal with it. But the high arsenic ones, just like my last video, when it comes to environmentally friendly, one of the things I mentioned, a lot of environmentally friendly it will hit. It can be specifically targeted at the case of high arsenic mines to blend its eco-friendly gold extractor. But in fact, in the process of practical operation, I'm also with a lot of the gold mine techs have communicated. Basically speaking, removing arsenic is the most economical. The most common method is probably calcination. Arsenic is removed by calcination. Let's do the gold extraction. Basically, this is about sodium cyanide. Some instructions on how to use it. Actually, let's go back to this. In a solution with the right pH, just break down the sodium cyanide first. If there is no contact, if you haven't used one of these, you might wonder when should sodium cyanide be How much to add? To what extent? Can be used normally. However, for people who have used the product once, maybe that's not a problem. Add it in. Just make sure it's melted in the solution. If you have any sodium cyanide or any other mineral reagent, feel free to contact me.